o'clock, inshallah. So it'll be from dhuhr until 5 p.m. inshallah ta'ala. So I don't just encourage you to come, I encourage you to come and to drag everybody by their ears to come inshallah ta'ala. So high school.
He's an excellent speaker. He's a trainer by profession.
Yeah.
He is a graduate from the Maghrib Institute as well. I don't know if he graduated or not, but he's one of our founder, like old.
Yeah, he's an Amir. He's an Amir for Nourain, alhamdulillah. He has a master's from Hartford Seminary. He's just excellent, inshallah. So from 1 to 5, we want all of you here, inshallah ta'ala. It'll be a seminar. We'll have it in the masjid. RSVP, will send the link, and please send it out to your groups as well. When you RSVP, we'll start sending you some of his readings so that you can be better prepared, inshallah ta'ala, when you come and meet him, inshallah. Yeah, any questions, Sulayla? Yes.
So it's not a question, I just wanted
Okay.
to write down this thing, and I asked about communication earlier, and like finding a partner who wants to understand like what you're feeling, why you're feeling that way, and like communicating, understanding the importance of like what made you feel that way in the first place, having like this kind of conversation.
Excellent. Very good. So she was saying earlier that as far as something that she would be looking for is that partner who cares about why you're feeling and what made you feel this way, like that type of emotional intelligence.
You know, Sheikh Ibrahim said something, mashallah, he threw a lot of gems that you really need to know. Some words are very, very deep. Like one of the things that he said in the middle of the talk, when I think it's an essential point in marriage, is one of the best things to do to yourself is to know the difference between men and women before you get into marriage. A lot of problem comes because you start dealing with women the same way you deal with men, and you deal with men the same way you deal with women. You think that he think like you, and you think that she think like you. We have a lot of commonality, but we have a lot of different areas. We see things in a different ways. Understanding this will get to what you want, Layla. Absolutely. You know, sometimes in the office, you know, they're fighting Sh.Ammar. I understand. No, you didn't. No, I understand. You want this. No, you didn't understand. What's I understand? You want this to be purchased. I'm going to purchase it. No. Now you change your mind. You see how the conversation goes? Yeah, Habibi, for her, men are goal-oriented. Men are goal-oriented. Okay, you want to purchase this? I got it. Woman is not about the end goal. Woman about the process.
It's about the connection,
It's about the connection. Why you want to buy it? Why didn't you just in the beginning? How about talking about this? See, they think this way. For us, it's about like, that's why. You want to buy something from the mall, from Macy's, you go straight to the point and get. You know, usually men like very goal-oriented. Women goal-oriented too, don't misunderstand me. But for them, it's about the connection. It's about the talk. It's not about solving the problem. It's about the process of how we solve the problem. Not understanding how women think, not understanding both sides. It clash. And it is so important. And one of the things that help you about this, to stay married, is marriage counseling. If there's anything I learned in my life, that marriage counseling is greatly appreciated. And you don't
If you have problems?
Before you have problems.
Premarital can help a lot.
You know, one of the worst things to do is to go to marriage counseling when you are already 1 foot out the door.
So everything is going great. You've got a wonderful relationship and you say, let's go to marriage counseling.
No.
Okay.
When there is a challenge, there is something that you need understanding or to be developed. But don't ever wait until things like all marriage counselors telling me, Sheikh, can you tell the community this? The problem, they come to us when they already made a decision that they're not going to live with. It's already reached to the edge, reached to the highest level.
Yeah.
You can't do that. It's just a check mark. You know what? I did this. You can't do that.
I mean, she's really making a great point there. Empathy is very important in marriage. And empathy is, and Sheikh Waleed said it really nicely, it's like you really need to find the difference between you and your wife. You know, even though we are human beings, but we are made differently, honestly. So you need to be able to, and it is the hardest thing a man can do, is to put yourself in your wife's shoes and look at you through her eyes and see what she sees. And this is really, it's a very good exercise if you do it.
It's hard to walk in high heels.
It's not easy, believe me. Okay, I'm really, alhamdulillah, my wife doesn't wear high heels at all.
The brother
So
over
it's
there has
easy
a
for me.
question. Nice.
For you to be able to understand the other person and how they feel, you really have to be in their place. Put
Very
yourself in their place. See what bothers them. And don't expect them to do from your perspective. Expect them to do what they need to do from their perspective. And that is when you start really making progress.
That's where maturity comes to play.
It's not just maturity, it's be in touch with your own feelings and her feelings as well. And the same with her. She needs to be in touch with her own feelings and his feelings as well. And marriage is a really hard, tricky,
Beautiful.
Beautiful. In order for you to get that beauty, you really need to really walk that fine line. And the Prophet ﷺ gave us ample examples on how he dealt with sadness that came out of their wife.
You know, Sheikh,
his
just
wives.
really quickly, when you said know yourself, one of the things that I remember thinking to myself when I first got married is I had to say to myself, I'm not my father. And you know why? Because every one of us has that modeling of a relationship, a marital
Right.
relationship.
You're right.
I know how my father treated my mother. I know how my mother treated my father. That's the greatest example of marriage that I've had in my entire life. And
That's-
so I also had to realize
But
that
you
I'm
cannot
not him.
discount that what made you who you are.
Yes, but I'm not him. I shouldn't expect from my wife to treat me like my mother treated my dad. Good or bad, right? Like you have to be able to recognize
better
that.
be.
Good or bad, right? You have to realize that you yourself are a completely different person, different personality, different expectations, different requirements even. Yes.
We end with these two questions here. People,
Ibrahim.
the brother in red raised his hand first.
Oh.
You mentioned how like you like find different like people and how like and also how like dating is haram. So what's the halal way to get to know them? If dating is haram?
Go ahead. Very good.
What's the halal way of getting to know them? So if you're interested, there's a lot of different ways. There is what we mentioned, getting a third party who is someone who is mature. They can then go and ask about them for you. Even if that third party just be someone who's a sibling or someone who is, I mean, maybe not a sibling, but someone who you trust, right? Someone who you trust. If you trust your sibling, then fine. But somebody that you trust who can then go and ask on their behalf. That's one way. Sheikh, do you have another way as far as
I mean,
How
you're
to go
allowed
about
to
it?
meet, you're allowed to talk, as long as there is no khalwa, you and her alone, as long as there is nothing behind the parents' back, you know, as long as there is no touching, but like the parents aware of. I tell you, don't ever start a marriage relationship, let it born in darkness. It will stay in darkness. Make it born in light.
so when you say you're allowed to meet, what happens first? Does he contact the parents first?
Yeah. Tell her,
Okay.
hey, Dad, there is Mom, there is this guy, he's interested to talk to me.
I
You
know
know?
I know two relationships at least.
Or someone who is, you know, because if he's serious, he has, don't ever attach your heart to someone. Then after that, you go to talk to the parents. That's just wrong. If your parents part of your life. If you don't have a parents who are part of your life, that's a different story. Like some convert sisters, for example, maybe they're not attached to their parents anymore. Or some people, some family, like their family overseas. I migrated here and my family not here. So it depends on the culture.
Sheikh, there's a lot of Muslims as well who aren't attached to their parents.
Yeah.
And just
I mean, attached, real attached. Like you live separate, you're not having any relationship, you don't talk to them. That's what I mean by you don't attach, but you're still living with them. No, that's attachment.
Yes, Khalid.
Yeah, I was actually wondering because Sh.Waleed, I noticed you mentioned something about going behind the parents' back. So does that mean the whole thing is haram too? Because I heard somewhere that's not. Is it haram or not?
Not everything it has to be halal or haram. There is also some ethically correct or not. You know, even if it's but it's not ethical. It's not right. It's not. There is high risk in it. You know, if your parents are the kind of parents who are completely against you, will never respect your, you know, your feeling and not supportive of you, you know, maybe cases like this and exceptions can be made. You know, but I would say that if your parents, let's say, you can't connect with your parents at all, and you know that they will never be supportive of you, in this case, you might have one of the parents, the mom or the dad, you know, sisters, you know, if not somebody who's older, mature than you, because the most, I don't know what's the strongest way I can use here. Imam Ahmad rahimahullah, when he mentioned the hadith, don't expose yourself to a test, a trial you cannot handle. Imam Ahmad said, what that means? You expose yourself to a trial you cannot handle. He said, falling in love. When you fall in love, you fall in love. That's why I always, that's not just a line I use to make it sound like fancy or nice, but I really means that. Especially these guys and girls who like to play, you know, with people's feelings. And, you know, if you make somebody fall in love for you, make sure that you catch them.
Now that's a bar. Listen, but Sheikh, he's talking about taking.
That's what?
It's a bar.
What that mean?
A bar. It means that it's a verse of poetry. It's nice.
Oh, it is?
Good. It's a good thing. Alhamdulillah. But Sheikh, he's talking about eloping. You're saying like you take the girl and then you go and you just go get married.
Yeah, get married in secret.
You're talking about talking about a secret marriage. So is that halal, Sheikh?
Secret marriage is haram, is invalid.
Allah, it's done. That was a good one. No, it's done.
Secret marriage is invalid.
So you're saying you just take the girl, you're like, forget your family, we're going to go to City Hall, we're going to get married.
That's not marriage. A woman cannot marry without her wali, without her father. The Prophet ﷺ said, any woman marry herself without her father's permission, her marriage is invalid.
Done.
Very explicit.
Cool? Yes, sir.
Sheikh, you mentioned about one of the qualities of marriage for a man is to be a provider. We didn't talk about roles and responsibilities in marriage. What should a man expect in return as being a provider?
If the man is the provider, what should he expect in return? What are gender roles? Have gender roles changed in marriage? Can we have situations where the woman is the provider now and the man is at home? Like, how do you navigate these things?
The Sheikh gave a classes.
Okay. I have to make it very short, but even in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, sometimes woman will be the provider. But Ibn Mas'ud, his wife, she was providing. And he was at one time, he's not providing. She's the one who bring money to the house, you know, for a certain period of time. But that can happen. But still, the man is the man. The man should work and should earn, and your wife will never have respect for you if you don't earn money. Make it clear to you. You know, I'm amazed by some guys that I consulted. I said, what do you do for a living? He said, I'm a gamer.
Gamers might start making money soon, Sheikh. They're not respected now.
I said, do you make games? He said, no, I play games and I get paid to play.
Exactly.
Or, you know, or a YouTuber. But these are bubbles. These are not stable jobs. I might be old fashioned, but you know what? You know, get alive, man. You know, it just, I'm serious. I was shocked. He said, I have not worked for 5 years. What do you do? He said, I'm just a gamer. He said, I'm very famous, Sheikh. He said, I get paid a lot of money. I don't have a problem
There
with
you
money. But it's not about money only. When you take a job, it is completely wrong. Hear me, young guys and young girls. When you take a job, it's not about what you get out of this job. It's about what you will become out of this job. It's not about what you get, it's about what you become.
It will become your character.
Yeah, what would that make you? So that's for me is important to look at. So providing here is basically the man provide. And by the way, make sure that you settle this from the beginning. If your wife gonna work, you have to be part of the conversation before you get married. Are you going to work? If she want to work, and if she works, what that means? She contributes to the house. She doesn't contribute. Because Islamically, she's not supposed to contribute a penny to the basic expenses of the house. You still have to pay for the health insurance. You still have to pay for the
Mortgage, the rent.
for this, for that. But I'm not supposed to be paying for anything extra that she used for her job unless I want to volunteer that. But from the beginning, before, I said, if you're going to work, you're going to be contributing 50% or to this or to that. Make sure that these are clear from the beginning. So, also, some women, because they work and they earn money, they lose respect for their husband. And her husband is not anymore, the authority figure. Why? I make money too, I contribute. The respect for the husband is not because he makes money only. It's way bigger than that. It's way more than that. So I don't know if that will help answering some of your questions. When both works, that's another. I have a whole entire segment it's called, home, work, acting balance. I have a whole segment in my class about this issue, about professional, when both are professional working, how this can happen. By the way, I don't agree that it's always negative on the kids. There is a way to navigate that. It has an impact, but you have to navigate. It has to be a lot of compromising and a lot of willing to help from the husband and from the wife. But in the end of the day, I want to say, it is more important for you to be a successful mother than a successful businesswoman or chemist or engineer or whatever. It's more important for you to be a successful father than being a successful businessman or a doctor or a lawyer or whatever your job or whatever job. And parenting is not one person's responsibility. It's both, husband and wife, both. Yes, in the beginning of the child life, the first 2 years, needs mom way more than father because of the breastfeeding and stuff like that. That's your child right on you, to provide for him. That it's not just the milk, it's emotion, it's the stability, it's the feeling that comes with it. There's a lot of things. I discussed this also in my class. When it comes, inshallah, hopefully something that you will benefit from.
Jazakumullah khair, everybody.
Sorry.
Jazakallah khair, Sh.Waleed. Anybody else has questions, feel free to come up to the mashayikh, inshallah ta'ala.
That's became a very long session. Sorry. It's 9:40, oh my God. But, anytime you talk about marriage, that's what happens.
Subhanakallahumma bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.
Sorry, we have to be